Now, I think we should have questions first.
What is self-realization and how do you grant it?
Self-realization is the epitome of our evolutionary process, which is a living process through which you achieve your higher self. Even Darwin, who was an atheist, did say that as human beings have come so far, they will achieve their absolute. So to achieve your absolute means to get the purpose of her life, the meaning of her life is only achieved when we get connected with the divine power, which is all pervading. Now one need not believe in the divine power, but you can see the manifestation of this living divine power when you see a flower becoming a fruit. All living work is done by this divine power. But we are not aware. At this human stage, we are not aware of it. But once this happening takes place, in your awareness, it's not just suggesting that you become something great or on mental level, but actualization of this experience is felt in your awareness, on your central nervous system. You can feel that you have become, again I say you have become, not told or brainwashed, but you have become collectively conscious. It is a state where you can feel yourself inside and others too. Now the knowledge of this is the knowledge of the roots. Whatever we have achieved is the knowledge of the tree. But if the tree outgrows itself from its root, then it may die. So it is time that we should find out about the roots. And to know about that, you have to become a settler. At this human awareness, you cannot. But sometimes it challenges the ego of people. You think, why not? I am such and such, what shouldn't I know? But you cannot. As you have to have a microscope to see things deeply, in the same way, you have to have this new awareness within this dynamic awareness. Of course, the nature of self is that it is collectively conscious, that it is the source of peace and bliss, that it is the truth and love. That's the nature. And you become that. You become. It's not only mental, but you really become. Because whatever is mental is artificial, man-made.
And do you perceive this collective unconscious or this collective consciousness mentally?
Yes, the unconscious becomes conscious. Means it comes into your central nervous system. It is within you. Everyone has said it. Christ has said it, Muhammad has said it, Buddha has said it, Mahavira has said it. Everyone has said the same thing. Like Lao Tse, then say Zen system, everything has said that you are to be born again. There has to be some transformation. They didn't tell us lies. But the trouble is, people can use this for their own purpose and mislead others. That's a different point. But logically, the disciples or the seekers also must know that you must feel your own powers. You must feel yourself. Otherwise, what's the use of just following somebody where you achieve nothing of your own? What did you achieve is the main point you should see.
And how do you grant this self-realization en masse?
Yes, that's the only thing is new today, is that it can be done on mass level. That's why in India it is called as Mahayoga. Formerly it was done for one or two, but now on very mass level you can do it. We had once, they were there, 6,000 people in a village called Kudus. all of them got realized. In India it's very easy because they are not so complicated. But Indians take it for granted. They know what Sahaja is, they know what realization is. I mean, they are trained that way, or I should say they are conditioned that way, that they understand it faster. But when the Western people get it, they are sometimes difficult, but once they get it, they are very deep, and they think this is the solution, the only solution for all the calamity. So they work it out very seriously, and really they are doing very good work.
Is it harder to grant self-realization to Westerners?
I used to think so, but the other day in Adelaide, I was amazed that they got it without any difficulty. So many of them, there must be about 300 people in that hall. It was all packed and they all got it. So all my ideas about that also are now changing. That suddenly I'm meeting the right type of people.
But how is it that you actually extend this mass level of consciousness?
How do you do it, Mother?
How do I do it? As I said, it's spontaneous. A seed, if you put it in the Mother Earth, it sprouts by itself. You cannot say how you do it. But because you are just ready for it. It's like one enlightened light can enlighten another light. Even if you put your hands towards me like this, you can get it. It's so simple. And then you can give it to others. Once you get it, you can give it to others.
With due respect, we get a lot of Eastern visitors to Australia, with different brand or different types of religion. Who do we know? Who do we know is leading us, and who do we know is misleading us?
See, you must use your brain for everything. God has given you a very good brain and logic. And logically you must reach proper conclusion about your realization. First of all, you must truly find out whether you want your realization or not. Because if some people want to fly in the air, then I can't give them. If some people want to have diamonds, that I can't do. Some sort of funny miracles that they do, all these tricks. So you have to be honest, first of all, about it. Secondly, you must know that this is love of God, and you cannot sell it in the market. You cannot purchase it. Okay? That's one of the very important things one should know. Because they pamper your ego in a way that you are purchasing your guru, that he is in your pocket. That's what one feels. But you cannot pocket the guru. Guru has to be higher than you. Then you have to find out the lifestyle of such a guru. How is he? How he lives? Is he an honest man? Is he a righteous person? Or is he... You must find out the credibility of such a person. Apart from that, you must find out the credibility of the followers also. What are they doing? There are so many gurus who have got followers for 18 years, 16 years, and they are epileptic. If the guru can't even look after their health, then what's the use of having such a guru for yourself? But human beings are very competitive in certain things.
Sorry, really?
They're very competitive, amusingly. Like they see a person coming out of the pub falling in the gutters, and they enter into the same pub, sort of thing. It's sort of a competition that they get into. And they think, why this man has gone to this guru, so I'll do. It's a fashion. People talk, who is your guru? And the other says, this is my guru. Really, I can't understand how people
Yes, but you see, it sprung up like that, though, hasn't it?
Yes, what I'm saying, this is a special time, a time of your resurrection, a time of your judgment. So there is a need. There is a need. But people are so vulnerable and so naive, I would say very naive, not to understand who is right and who is wrong. It's very simple. People come out of the jail, wear a funny dress, and go to America, sit in a square and start singing something funny. Everybody will say, oh, look at him, what a very great. Moreover, a kind of an inferiority complex, I think, people have who are householders. They think they are very selfish, they are raising their children and looking after their household. It is not. It is one of the greatest jobs is to be properly married and to have nice children. But if you see somebody wearing that dress, he has given up everything in the world, you see. You feel so enamored. It's superficially you cannot judge it. That's right.
May I ask, do you believe yourself to be the only true guru, or are there other organisations that offer enlightenment as well?
Do you believe that you're the only true guru, and are there other organizations who offer enlightenment?
There are many true gurus also. It's not true that I'm the only true guru, but I'm the only mother. Because these true gurus who are living in Himalayas and other places on the hills don't want to come down. They don't want to mix with people. I sent one fellow with great coaxing persuasion to America. He ran away within 3 days from there. He said they can't understand. They are just other way around people. They can't understand God. They understand dollars. So there are many gurus and they recognize me quite all right. That's why when they say that she is the, what did you say, greatest saint or anything, is all said by these gurus only have told us.
What about in the West? Do you think that there are gurus, or not gurus, but do you think that there are religious
Yes, some people have taken note, you see. It's a good enterprise to make big money, you see. Now imagine one guru has made 6,000 crores of rupees. Now crore is 100 and then 100 and then 1,000 and then 100,000 and then 100 of that is 1 crore. So 6,000 crores of rupees he has made in India alone. God knows how much in the Swiss bank. Another one has got 59 crores. Another one who has run away from India has purchased 3 aeroplanes and 35 Rolls Royce. They have a special license for Rolls Royce, I think. So one must understand that it's a very big enterprise. Even Ungarai cannot afford it.
You can say he's got good knowledge of the marketplace.
Yes.
Yes, they know. You see, they're very clever. Not only they have employed people to tell them about it. You see, they have employment of also publicity department. They have every sort of department. I mean, it's a big enterprise.
But being a guru, being a guru is a big enterprise.
Being a guru is a big enterprise.
Very big enterprise, if you can venture it, really. I mean, some English people have tried it. They have been successful, but not so much as Indians. I think Indians are clever to do that job.
I missed the point you were asking. But she asked, are there any enlightened gurus in the West?
Did you?
Yeah, are there genuine
Yes,
spiritual
yes,
leaders
yes, I
in the
think
West?
so. There are many. Yes, there are many. All over the world there are. Not
And
only in India.
do you consider some of the Western religious organisations to be genuine?
They are all genuine because they believe so. But they don't create genuine effects. That's the point. You may believe something is genuine in ignorance. For example, you may believe that a particular diamond is a real diamond because you're ignorant about it. But when you want to sell it in the market, you find out that it's not so. That's what is happening to our religions now. The thing is, all religions have to seek within themselves and get their self-realization, which they are not doing. They too having buildings, they too are having organizations, they too having big marketplaces. All that is all coming to economics again, or to politics at the most, but not to God.
How is there are gurus and Indians that won't come into the West?
It's right.
Why do you come to the West?
Me.
Yeah, why
There are many that won't come to the West. Why have you come to the West?
So see, because I am the only venturesome person, I think.
That's right, one.
Sorry, what was it?
It's all right, okay. This is for
I said I am the only venturesome person. But apart from that, I must tell you, it was so arranged that my husband got elected to this job in England. Elected by 134 nations, 4 times unanimously.
What do you think, how long have you lived in the West now?
No, I don't live here much. You see, I go to India also.
What?
I've been traveling quite a lot.
Yeah.
I've been to India, I've been to all the places, and I have to go about with my husband also. I've been to Russia, I've been to China, all over the places, Argentina, every place.
Apart from the material circumstances of life, what do you think is is different between the West and the East? Forgetting the material circumstances, what do you think is different about
Western people?
Yeah, and Eastern people.
They are very,
other than material aspects.
Yeah.
no, they are very honest. Very honest. They are
Western.
Western.
Very honest. They are very honest. Really, they are honest. No doubt about it. And about themselves also, they are very honest. I have tremendous regard for that. You see, the Indian real gurus, as you may call them, are even frightened of Indians, leave alone the Westerners. They think they'll be crucified or their throats will be cut. They have been tortured also, I must say. One fellow cannot walk because his legs were broken and hands were broken. Because, you see, there's a big struggle between the reality and unreality. Because these people are having a business proposition, you understand that. It's a very big business organization. So, if anybody says anything against it, then they can pay people to get after you, they can kill you, they can do anything they want. It's a mafia. It's not easy to face these horrible things. They are all multimillionaires.
Have you suffered similar experiences of people trying to kill you, or?
They try, but doesn't succeed. Yesterday only we had a meeting and there were two boys from this TM, I think paid by TM, whatever it is. They tried to be very funny. And I said, the whole public got after them and they ran away. They said, now you can't have it down in the manager policy you have got, now you can't have it, so let us have it at least. So they went out. They try, it's all right. I expect all that.
Can you just tell us something? Your yoga school it devolved from.
It's not a yoga school.
No.
You get your realization, and you then become a person who becomes a realized person.
But
And you
it
just
started through the influence of.
Yes,
Yeah.
not influence.
Mm.
I got my realization when I went to India. I'd been to all these false gurus, all these places where I saw some shocking things happening, and I absolutely shocked and disillusioned. I was about to come home, but somebody had given me Mataji's telephone number. She was in India at that time from England, and I went to her and I thought, my goodness, this is all so very different. I was starting to feel incredibly peaceful and joyful, and amazing things were happening inside me which were very, very wonderful, and it all seemed so normal. And yet
health-wise, first of all, he proved health-wise.
What was your trade?
I'm a doctor.
Doctor.
I mean, I was very skeptical.
General practitioner?
No, I'm trained as such, but I've been practicing in natural health. Because I'm a bit disillusioned with the medical side, and many of my patients had been going to India on these spiritual pilgrimages and coming back worse. And I wondered why, because I was reading all these books that were saying these great gurus, and they were speaking about Christ and Muhammad and Krishna and all these things. And they were coming back in a worsened condition. So I thought the two things were a disparity. On the one hand, they seemed to be the spiritual masters. On the other hand, these people were coming back. But they had a very good rationalization. They'd say they were purifying themselves, or they were cleansing themselves, or they were going through some karmas, or something like that. So I couldn't sort it all out. So I went to India. I stayed there a few months. And finally I met Mother. And it seemed so logical and so sensible and so scientific. I mean, it agrees with all the medical science. It underpins medical science.
I've also studied medicine.
Yeah.
It was quite incredible, and now it just seems
so
so
you
easy.
do some yoga practice as part of your daily routine, do you?
Meditation in a very simplified form. When you feel this cool vibration on your hand and above your head and over your body, you know that you're in meditation. That's it. That's it.
Do you do any sort of asanas?
Not many. Just a few if you've got a specific problem.
You see, it depends on, it's very scientific. It depends on where you have a problem. Say, for example, you have a problem in your stomach. Now, you have to do certain exercise for that, for a short time, till you get rid of it. Or maybe that you have to say certain mantras for that, to excite or to awaken that part within you into liveliness. That's how, it is very scientific. But gradually you know it, so easy it becomes, the whole thing becomes so easy. Because when you are expanding towards the periphery, the whole thing becomes complex. But when you integrate towards the center, then everything is very simple. You have to deal with simple principles. And once you know how to manage that, for example, balance. Balance in a person is very balance in a person is not dealt with in, say, in medical science. While we have one medical science, then we have psychologists, we have this and that, we have one doctor for one eye and another doctor for another eye. Here is one person who is the one who cures you, he diagnoses you, he gives you realization, it's everything. The laboratory, the complete instrument is human being, and this is created by God within you beautifully. It's all there, just to be connected to the me. That's all. It's already there. I mean, nothing fantastic for me because I know it is there. But once you get it, you are amazed how you have started working it out, because we are not aware of ourselves. Every one of you can get it. Every one.
How did you develop the self-realization? Were you born with it, or?
I was born.
So, from the day you were born, you know.
When did you know that you had been born with it? When did you discover it?
You see, it is like if I ask you a question, when did you discover you are a human being? You won't be able to say. It's simple as that. See, I was quite aware of it.
When you say self-real, I mean, I know I'm a human being. I mean, what do you mean by self-realization?
You can. Everyone can get it. As long as you are a human being, you get it. That's all.
It's a higher level of awareness than human awareness. You're not using your thinking brain, you're not using your emotional brain, you're using what is basically the all-pervading power of God, the unconscious about which
that is reflected within you.
Jung spoke about.
See, it is reflected within you as Kundalini. We call it, in Sanskrit language, it is called as Kundalini. But this also word is so terrifying to people, those who have read about Kundalini, they get a fright. She is your mother, the one who has to give you the rebirth. Now there are people who have written such big books without knowing where the Kundalini lies. Imagine. Absolutely vague. Now you can see it in some people, pulsation of the Kundalini. We have got also on videotape some of these things when you saw on some people where there was obstruction, the pulsation. The pulsation, you can see sometimes this triangular bone sacrum just pulsating. But imagine this thing was called as sacrum, means sacred. And I asked the Greek people, I said, why did you call it sacrum? They said, we had a report with the Indo-Aryan group much before Alexander went to India, and they told us that this bone is the sacred bone.
If you burn the bone is so ossified that it's the last one to burn.
Yeah, you need a very high temperature to burn that.
You worked with Gandhi, didn't you? What were your impressions of Gandhi?
What are my impressions?
Yeah.
Oh, he was a very great man, very much needed at that time. And if he had survived, he would have supported Sahaj Yoga out and out, no doubt about it.
So,
If he had survived, he would have supported Sahaj Yoga out and out.
how much contact did you have with Gandhi?
Quite a lot. As a child, I was very close to him, and he used to call me Nepali. Because according to my features were more Nepali, my complexion was Nepali. He used to call me Nepali. I'm very affectionate towards children, very affectionate. Otherwise he was a hard taskmaster himself, towards himself and towards others. But very kind gentleman as far as the children were concerned. And you could even overrule him by sweetness. I mean, supposing he says, I don't want to have any juice just now, you can say, Bapu, have a little bit. Otherwise we won't have, or something. It is just mentally. It's so sweet inside.
Have you seen the film version of it?
Yes, I've seen.
What did you think of it?
Film is very good. I mean, it's very good.
It's accurate.
Yes, very. It is very accurate, but in some ways, you see, I would say that, for example, Gandhiji was an Indian. And the Indian style of talking is rather different from what you people talk, because you're very intelligent people and sharp-witted. You see, you know words and you're very well read. So you say few things in a very sharp way, immediately you answer in a way that is very, I should say, acute, absolutely. But he was an Indian, so the Indian, you see, doesn't say such sudden, it doesn't spring with such a sudden intelligent remark. See. They are gentler people, I think they speak in a gentler way, in a little roundabout way.
He couldn't sit on the floor properly.
That also you could find out that he couldn't sit properly on the floor. That's one, but that's not so important. What I felt was
he did in the film.
He
did in the film.
That's one thing about him, and the essence of it is that whatever was, it was such a short time to bring forth such a deep thing. I think he has done full justice, except for one point that Gandhiji never wanted to provoke. He never used these sinister methods of provoking us. He was a very genuine person. See? And I think that is a little bit lacking. He didn't do it just to, you see, with a mind that would provoke others. No, he wouldn't think of such a thing. It was just he thought that if he has no other way out, because you don't know what times we had. I mean, in this picture he couldn't show anything. It was very oppressive time for 300 years, that is believed. So to talk of anything was impossible. My father himself went to jail many times. My mother went 5 times to jail. Of course, later on I was member of the Constituent Assembly, Parliament, everything. My brother is also a Minister of Steel now in India, in the cabinet. But that time, it was so difficult, very difficult. They used to torture people much more than they showed individually. They used to hound us.
Do you know Mrs. Gandhi?
Yes, I like her.
Do you have you met her personally?
Yes, I've met her once or twice. So I wonder if she remembers me now. She's a very busy person. I mean, she's a solution just now for us, as I say.
What do you think are the immediate problems facing India at the moment?
If they take to Sir Yoga, they can be all solved, because it also gives you material freedom. It also gives you material blessing. You see, we have too much black magic and all that in our country. It's very heavy. And once you get into those things, you get to power.
Just on that point, Mother, a couple of years ago in an interview you were more talking about self-realisation and less inclined to talk about so-called miracle cures and so on. I noticed in the press release there's quite a heavy accent on cures. Have you done that specifically to perhaps reinforce your message or get your message across?
Which one?
He's saying that there seems to be an emphasis in the press release on curing.
No, I did not. Did you feel that way? Oh God, I'm not with that. Really.
Has your emphasis changed?
Yes,
is his question.
what I'm saying is I gathered that 2 years ago that you weren't emphasising
never.
But the press release that supports your trip here indicates the more other side of it, which of course has opened a little more
No, it is a byproduct. Curing is a byproduct of self-realization. You see, self-realization is most important. You see, God is not interested in curing every Dick, Tom and Harry. Say for example, Hitler wants to get cured. Should we cure him? It's better cure for him to go to hell, at least for one lifetime, and then come back. See what people have suffered. So it's never, accent is never on curing at all, and I out of compassion, see, because it works, I work out. But it's nothing important. I don't know why you felt that way. I don't know what they have given you. I have no idea as to what they have given you and what is accentuated. But as far as I'm concerned, for me, self-realization is the basic. That's my job.
In fact, Mother takes emphasis away from curing at the public programs.
I tell them not to cure anyone. I said, if they want to cure, let them work on my photograph. Let the photograph take all the load. You don't take any load of curing.
Well, perhaps then you better talk over the situation with your public relations people.
We don't have any.
We don't have any publicity, nothing. They do it on their own, spontaneously. They will realize if they have made a mistake, they'll put it right next time. I don't know what's happening and all that. I don't know anything. They are doing on their
So
own.
we don't have a
Let them
media
learn.
machine
They
at
gradually learn. You see, better ways of healing and all that. Let them learn. They'll all learn.
Well, can we just clarify then? Do you claim that you can heal or cure?
I do not claim, I do it. No question of claiming, you see. I do it, I've done it. You can do it also. Everyone can do it. This Dr. Warren has done. He's cured so many people.
You just said it could be done through a photograph. Could you explain that?
Yes, it is surprising, you know. Myself I was surprised as you are. That my photograph has also got vibrations. And people get cured with photographs. In your country only, when I came, the press was very kind to me. The reason was, there was a lady who was sick with coma. And they said she had got
cerebral aneurysm.
And another disciple of mine took my photograph, put it under her head. And she started getting alright, in the sense that she started opening her eyes. So the doctors got frightened. They said, even if she gets alright, she will be damaged. She won't be able to walk. But today she's perfectly alright. Not only that, but she is very hard working surgery. So it's alright.
How does it work? Any idea
It was in
How does it work?
Photograph?
How does it work from the photograph?
from the photograph. The photograph is a real image of myself. See, and this my body has got a coefficient which emits vibration. Same happens with the photograph. That too has the same coefficient. Of course, it hasn't got the other dimension, but it also emits the vibrations because of the coefficients being the same. So even if you take Christ photograph, it's not real because it's all come out of the unconscious, all right, but there's a lot of imagination put in. Any photograph if you take of any person, it is like that. But there are so many things I've seen which have come out of the Mother Earth. They emit vibration. Like Stonehenge in England has vibration. So many places like that have vibration, but not so strong as mine because I'm a living person.
What is your idea of God?
My
What is
idea-
God?
It's not only idea, but it's the truth that I feel about God. God is difficult to put in words. Is the witness of the play of his power. He is separated from his power, and he is just witnessing the play of his power. And the power is creating, is protecting, nourishing the creation and evolving. Till this play is up to the animal stage, everything is under the control. But to give it a greater freedom, they have to give first freedom to human beings at this age. So this freedom was granted, so that you learn what is your mistake, what is your right thing, you decide. You develop yourself with that. You create a balance within yourself. And then you ascend to the spirit by which you know God's power going through. This is all the game, in short I think. So this God is the witness of this play. He is the Father, you can say, and his power is the Holy Ghost. And he sends his Son on this earth to redeem people. Plays a very important part, Christ, in our lives. And all other incarnations. All of them have a meaning and a place within ourselves. Christ also has a special place within us, which is the gate of the limbic area.
So you're a Christian as well as being an Indian?
Oh, I'm not a Christian in the sense that I don't belong to this church. Neither I'm a real Hindu, Christian, everything, because they are all based on the same principle of God. See, these are all flowers who were on the same tree of life. But people plucked it, saying, this is mine, I am that, I am that. And then the flowers became ugly and dead. That's why people think Christianity has failed you, Hinduism has failed you, Islam has failed you. It's not the prophets, it's not the incarnation, it's we. By possessing them, we cannot possess God. We cannot possess religion. We are in religion. Means religion is our valence. Just like carbon has valency of 4, we have valency of 10. That's in this part of our field, where the attention is. And if we are balanced people, if we live with moderation, the ascent is not fast. But even the extremist of extremists have got realization. So the grace is flowing very generously, I should say, to achieve. Even alcoholics, you see, come to me, in alcoholic state, become overnight wonderful people.
Overnight?
Overnight, you will become overnight. There are druggists and chemists and smokers.
Can you cure me smoking?
Fine.
You cure me from nicotine?
Yes, yes.
Do you consider yourself to be a saint or a prophet? Or
What is the relevance of this question?
well,
I just don't understand. Every one of them are asking, do you consider? If I was not considering myself, I would have worked like this. Do I think I am a thief? Or what I think myself? You see, it's a funny question, isn't it? You just tell me. I don't understand the relevance. Because every one of them are asking this question to me, do you think? We say, what is it? I must be thinking something about it. I must be aware of myself. Otherwise, I won't take up this course. See now, I have a husband who loves me very much. I have a very comfortable house of my own. I have my own children and grandchildren. Now, I don't get anything out of this, except that I have a satisfaction that I am sharing my joy with all of you. Alright? Now, unless and until I am aware of myself, do you think I will do such a thing? Any one of you will do this thing without getting anything out of it? Can anyone in this world can do such a thing? That. Without any purpose.
Well, I think somebody just called you the greatest living saint. And
yes,
the
I mean they can call me anything, you see, but what I'm saying, that, you see, asking this question, supposing I say, yes, I think so, then you say she's very ego-oriented. Alright. If I say I don't think so, then say she's definite. You see, it's a very funny thing, you know. So, it's like it's the question that is irrelevant, unless and until I'm aware of it. Why will I do this work?
I suppose in the West we think of saints with halos around their head, you see.
Yes, you can see that also if you become realized souls, you do. You will see that, when you see that. I will show you one photograph. Have you got that? Let us see.
Oh, there, that one.
Just see this photograph. Can you explain?
Sorry?
This photograph, I am sitting in a
Can you
village
explain it?
outside, and these 7 times this light fell on me. Have you seen Christ praying in the garden?
Yeah.
And this is the photograph. See now.
Oh, yeah.
There are many other things people have seen in my photographs. There's one photograph where they have seen lights coming out of my fingers, my toes. They have got this photograph. So for you,
Couldn't that just be a reflection from a glass? Or
no.
something?
It's
It
taken out of the
happened
other
7
day.
times, and when I put down my head, none of them could see at that time. It's not no reflection. Ask the photographer if he can explain. All artificial gurus would try this trick, you see.
I understand you began teaching self-realization to people in 1970. Is that right? Or?
No, not self-realization. I had human realization.
Right.
I understood human beings at that time. They are very complicated, must say. So many permutations and combinations. And I had to study them thoroughly. because my father himself was a realized soul, and he told me that no use talking about God, saying anything about Him, it will become another Bible, another Gita. You have to find out a mass realization method. It has to work on masses. And also you have seen any discovery which is not used for masses, isn't it? And he said otherwise, same thing will happen. You will be crucified, or they will kill you, it will be finished. And I knew I had come for this work, to achieve that. So I had to study, work it out, the method by which our mass evolution could be achieved. And when I did it, I would say it was my human realization, in the sense that I found an opportune time to start.
Will you continue to do this, travel around the world until you die, or?
What is it?
Will you continue to travel around the world doing this work until you die?
It's very futuristic. I don't think of my death so far. As long as I can do, I'll do it. But I mean, if these people are realized, then I think they'll give me some rest sometime, isn't it? I must also have some rest. I'm 60 years of age. How long do you want me to live? It's for you to decide. If you take over, then I need not live.
You spend most of your time in London now, do you?
Yes, because my husband is there, my family, and he is a very busy man himself.
But where did you come from originally in India? Where did you live originally in India?
Originally near Ahmednagar. Where our dynasty.
I only know the big cities. Is that near a big city?
It's a distant place. It's not a very big city. Ahmednagar. It's very near.
What is the biggest city it's near?
I lived with my husband in Delhi because he was with the former Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri. He was his secretary.
Oh.
Yes. And then he went to Tashkent also with him. He was throughout with him. And then I lived in Bombay because he was chairman of Shipping Corporation of India. For years together I lived in cities. I studied in Lucknow, in Lahore, in medical college. That's how I lived in cities. But originally my family, all of them come from this place, Ahmednagar. I was born in a small little hill station which is on the Tropic of Cancer.
Mother, what about reincarnation? Is that part of your philosophy?
Is reincarnation part of your philosophy? Reincarnation.
Of who?
Of everybody. When we physically pass away, do we return as
another? You mean human being?
Yes.
Of course.
Perhaps then you could look at another situation. One of the mysteries of life, there are many people who appear to be honest, sincere and work hard, who suffer enormous tragedy and so on. And then there are other people, I could name a couple but I won't, who seem to flow through but are not necessarily liked by their by their fellow human beings. Is there a reason for that? Perhaps attached spirits or something like that?
Going to false gurus is very dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. It's not so superficially to be treated. You see, money I don't mind, because if they are thugs, alright, there are so many thugs, we have mafia, we have all kinds of things. It doesn't matter. Let them be big thugs. It's not so simple as we think. It's very deep. See, they can bring forth all the diseases which are incurable within us. Say myelitis, what you call osteomyelitis, cancer, heart attacks, all kinds of diseases which are absolutely incurable, beyond our control. Then depressions, and then stresses within us. Also they can bring, quite a lot of them give epilepsy, abnormal behavior. Even in the plane, if I am sitting, I find some people are just doing like this, like that. And most of them have been to this EM. They have paid thousands and thousands of pounds to achieve that kind of a funny thing, this center by which the necks come out like that, all the time pitching themselves or jumping.
He asked about spiritual possession too, Mother. He
Yeah.
asked about spiritual possession.
Of course, this is spiritual possession. This is spiritual possession. They
And
become.
do you have a method of driving away that spirit?
Yes, yes, I do. I do try. You see,
So
even-
that's the key to solving many of these
Yes,
ills.
yes, of course, of course. Because, you see, the cabbages are better sometimes than poor things, they are so suppressed that even if you show them a garlic, they are frightened and they tremble like this. Garlic, can you imagine? They are afraid of garlics and afraid of onions. I mean, what are they made? Some are just sex points without any sex act. Horrible things. They are neither human beings nor animals. Terribly possessed, no doubt. They can be cured. Absolutely, we have cured so many like that. You can meet so many. You won't believe even that they have been like that. There's one gentleman here that he was going to see it.
He was a flyer in TM.
What's a flyer?
A flyer.
You see-
They levitate.
Oh, they levitate so far.
Yeah.
Sitting on the foam, you have to jump, see. And then you think that you are flying, and then you get possessed. And they just start sitting down, they just come out of their seats. See, as if somebody's ejected them out. This is supposed to be flying.
You found him out.
The fire?
You ruined his theory.
Oh, horrible things. In one of our ashrams, one fellow came because he went to a barber shop and he was having so he had to spend some time waiting outside. So he saw one magazine there where it was written about Sahaj Yoga in a magazine called Yoga. They are not supposed to read anything else. They are bad. Everything is secret. It's all mafia style. So poor man, he hesitatingly took that thing and he took that yoga to read. And there was my picture which said that if you feel cool breeze on this picture, then know that you are a realized soul. So he tried to put the hands, and in the barber shop only he went into cut nauseous. He got such a fright that he telephoned to our ashram, and the gentleman was on the phone, was also not TM but another time, and he asked him, "Are you feeling hot?" He said, "I'm boiling this side." He said, "Have you done TM?" He said, "Yes." "But how do you know?" He said, "We know." Then he came down. But when he came down there, and these people just took my name, and the fellow went into such a contortion and started barking like a dog that all the surgeons got a fright, and they sent me a SOS that, "Mother, please come to our help." And I was going to have lots of people for dinner. I said, "What's it happening?" He said, "There's a fellow who came here who is behaving like this, and we are all frightened of it." And I told them what is to be done to pacify him. But this fellow today is a very big Sahajogi in London. He was a manager of a very big estate company. He lost his job, lost his money, he became penniless doing this year. But now I am told this Rajneesh is coming to your Australia to bless you all. This fellow Rajneesh, who is ousted from America,
The orange people, they call
the
it.
orange people, he's trying to come here. So be careful.
The government's already
He's
tightening up
bought
its
only
regulations.
36 Rolls Royces and 3 aeroplanes. I don't know what his ambitions are out of Australia.
He's been thrown out of India. Now they've
Not
got
thrown
a
out, he ran away.
ran away, sorry. He had a deportation order in America now. We hear he's coming here.
What's his name?
Rajneesh.
It's orange people, you see.
Well, what is bad about Rajneesh?
Horrible.
Why?
You see what he does? He makes you into a sex point. He has mass sex. Mass sex.
Some people might think that's all right.
Yes, those who like it go there and become mad. That's all. That's all. You pay for it. We have a film. I think we have a film. We can show you. See, somebody has taken secretly the film of his book.
One of them who's disenchanted.
One of them. He took a secret film of what they do inside. And that was released in London, called as God Who Ran Away. And in that they showed this mask thing and all. So what he does, he makes people absolutely impotent. they become impotent by his method. Possesses them at the sex point and talks about sex all the time. So they are so restless that they become mad. And they give him money as much as he wants. He has told so many women that he was their husband in previous lives. So they gave all their ornaments to him. One Indian lady gave her all her jewelry to him, very expensive jewelry. So his brother and she was a widow. Her brother and a brother-in-law came to me with her. That please mother cure her. I asked her, why did you give? She said, he was my husband in his previous life. I said, who told you? He said, he told me. I said, but why do you believe? He said, I also feel the same. I said, but what about the husband whom you married, from whom you have children, who has given you all this jewelry? And why should you give it to this man whom you never married? No, I believe what he said. She was absolutely in complete possession of him. And no one knows where she is now. No one knows.
There are some other cults in Australia that quite would hold it, including the Moodies and the Hare Krishnas. What are your opinions of
Moodies, of course, you know very well. I need not tell about that.
You don't approve of the Moodies?
Of course not. You see, when you become a Sahajogi, you start loving your parents, loving your children, loving everyone. You solve your problems. You don't hate anyone. You don't run away from anyone. On the contrary, if these things happen, this is anti-God activity. Absolutely anti-God activity that you get out of your family completely. You have nothing to do with anyone. This is absolutely anti-God. The another set is our great, we call them Hare Rama. Now the first basic mistake they make is to say that vegetarianism is way to go. Taking Krishna's case, especially. Because Sri Krishna in Gita, the first chapter, is very outset. He told Arjuna that you have to kill humans, leave alone animals. Then he said, how can I kill? Because there are my gurus and there are my relations. So he said, you have to kill them. To achieve a higher goal, you have to give up your lower goals. This is what exactly he told. Then later on it was introduced in the Gita that vegetarianism leads you to God. I don't know how. Because they said that the people who are left-sided, emotional people, eat more meat, which is scientifically not. Those who are morbid people, those who are left-sided means who have got, what you can say, conditioned people, they seldom eat meat. The people who eat meat are the Rajasic people, are the people who are more aggressive, more active. So the inactive people eat less meat because protein acts as an activity. So it's scientifically also. But they don't understand science or anything. These people are told that you must not eat meat, finished. That's the end of it. Now in India, out of poverty, so many people are not eating meat. By not eating meat, if you go to war, then everybody else was wrong because Krishna himself used to eat and Rama himself ate. Even Buddha ate it because he died. Because he
Buddha ate meat.
Beg pardon?
He ate meat.
Yes,
yeah.
he ate. And he died because he ate a raw, by mistake, a raw meat of a pig or a wild goat, of a wild goat. So he was eaten. And in India, only the so-called Brahmins don't eat, so-called Brahmins, because they thought this is the best way of befooling people. But not that I am for eating meat or eating vegetables. It depends on your temperament. What sort of a temperament you have. Supposing you are very aggressive, it's better to eat
carrots.
Yeah. Grass. Grass. But if you are non-aggressive and you get conditioned very easily, suppressed time, then you better eat meat.
I'm afraid we're going to have to finish it there. Those that want to can see Mother privately and for an interview if you want to. That can be arranged later. So, can we wind it up? Are there any...
Well, one point I'll say about them, that what these people are doing in India is something so shocking. I went to many places in the district places. And the people like you, the newspaper people came and said, Mother, why are you carrying these people in the villages here? We have had enough of them. I said, why? What happened? He said, we have so many beggars now let loose. These people are now walking in the villages, you see, and begging. And they are torturing everyone. Because our villagers don't have so much money to look after them. In the beginning, of course, they tried. And they all bombard me with questions that why do you carry these people? They'll also come here as beggars. I said, no, they are all employed people. They are not beggars, don't be worried. They can't believe it. They said, now, first they came as aggressors and now they are coming as beggars and troubling us. And a person is begging at your house.
The hippies. The
yes.
hippies,
The hippies and these also these Hare Rama. This is their special job. And you said that, you see, they said they are safe. So they said, we can't even eat our food properly because they are standing at your doorstep asking for alms. You see, whatever we have, we give them our favors from your problems.
It's a complete reversal of British imperialism.
And they think they are living a very sane life, you know. Only eating vegetarian food, they think they are very sane. God's people are never beggars. They must have self-esteem and self-respect. If they feel insulted, then they should give up this profession.
Okay, those that want to see Mother further, see Ian, who's at the back there, and we'll take it a step further there. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you very much. I hope you convey the message so that many people get their realization and you don't have any more diseases, anything left in this country.
Let them know that Mother's speaking tonight and tomorrow night and Thursday night at the exhibition hall, exhibition buildings in Melbourne. And she gives the experience at the program.
It acts. The main thing is it acts.
She actually gives the experience of self-realization at the program.
Yes. It has to act. That's the difference between others and me, at least. That much one can see clearly. It immediately changes you. Yesterday we had one cancer patient of liver. We should follow it, that case. Now doctors have told him within 1 month you are going to die.
That was...
You see, and I told him alright. I made him sit with his left hand towards me and right hand outside. He started feeling much better and healthier. And if he's cured, that's the proof.
And it's happened many times under medical supervision.
I've also cured our president, Mr. Sanjeeva Reddy. If you want, you can write to him and find out of his death.
Where is the person that had cancer that you saw in Australia?
Here in Adelaide. He came only yesterday and he felt very much better after that. So many people felt better. Some people had stomach trouble and some people had frozen arms. Everybody felt better. Their arms opened out automatically.
When you claim cures like that, do you get flack from the medical profession?
When you claim cures like that, do the medical profession oppose you?
No, I have many doctors who are my disciples now. Many doctors. You see, there are so many things still left to the doctors to do. I am not interested in patients. But if they come to my program, they get all right.
It challenges too much.
I don't go to hospitals.
Challenges too much within our fabric of
No, but they won't be angry
knowledge.
with me, I'm sure, because they are overloaded with patients. They won't be so angry. They won't be so angry.
That's very true.
You see, I'm not interested in curing, but if they get cured, what should I do? Automatically, they get cured.
Certainly the people that develop their realization get better. There's no question.
Hands again, as you did, so we can just get the... We've got the camera here, so this is what people have to do.
Yes, just
hold their hands out like
that. Put their both feet like this.
That's it, like that. And hold out their hands.
Yes.
So that's the way.
Might work out.
All right. Well, we're just getting these shots, you see.
Keep your hand out.
All right. Just you spread fingers or fingers together.
Just like relax. As if asking for something.
Yeah.
Your hand? Yeah.
Yeah, we're just getting that.
Yourself, you start feeling it. You're shaking a little. That means you work very hard.
Yes, too hard.
On your nerves. Now they'll soothe down. See, that shake is coming from too much strain on the nerves. especially the right side. It's
No,
shaking.
unless you come from the left side of the brain.
No, you have to forgive. You have to forgive. Forgive. Forgive everyone. Just forgive. Just forgive. Come. Forgive. Still shaking. The shaking has to go. Then it will go. I'm giving you a balance. Raising your left side, the emotional side, the right side of your action is being fulfilled. Then I touch you forward. Close your eyes. Are you feeling peaceful now?
My hand stopped shaking.